Today we take a look at both the H4N and the H5N audio recorders. On the front of the H4N you have the record button, which features a red ring around it that will blink after one press, which signifies that it is ready to record. To record, press the button again. In approximately the same place on the H5N you also have a record button, but the H5N will record after only one press to the record button. To pause a recording, press the play pause button directly to the left of the record button. To continue the recording, press the play pause button again. To track forward and backward through an audio track, you may use the fast forward rewind buttons, which can also be used to move through an individual track. To stop recording, press the stop button. With both the H4N and the H5N, you may use either the onboard mic or the XLR connections to record. You can also use both of these at the same time. To toggle between these options on the H4N, you may use the small buttons to the left of the stop button and the rewind button. On the H5N, the buttons are above the stop button, play pause button, and the recording button. On the H4N's front side, you have shortcut track select keys above the other buttons. On the onboard mic of the H4N, you have three lights that indicate what recording mode you are in: stereo, 4-channel, or MTR. On the H5N's onboard mic, you have the input volume left from right. You can also use the onboard mic release to remove the onboard mic and replace it, or attach other accessories such as a shotgun mic. Now let's take a look at the H4N and the H5N display screens. On the H4N's display screen, in the upper left-hand corner, you have the recording status, which will appear as a circle when recording and a square when not recording. Directly to the right of the recording status, you have the time code for that recording. To the right of the time code is displayed the device's battery life. Below those three things, the recording format, sample rate, and bit depth is displayed to the left of the file name. Below the recording format and file name, you have the volume meters, which should peak between -12 and -6. At the bottom right of the screen, the remaining available record time is displayed. For the H5N, not much is different from the H4N display screen. The file folder is in the place of the file's recording format, which has moved to the bottom of the screen. To the right of the recording format, you have phantom power and the dB pad displayed. The timecode and battery life are both in the same places as the H4N. The volume meters are the same but different at the same time. Now, instead of seeing all of your audio register under the same meter, the volume is split between XLR and the onboard mic. The first thing you want to do after inserting an SD card and powering your unit on is to format your SD card. Depress the menu button and menu selection button directly above to navigate to the SD card menu. Press the selector down until you get to SD card. Push the selector button in and it will take you to the SD card menu. Select format and select yes. Once it has formatted, you can exit out of that menu by hitting the menu button. There are several other menus. All the menus included are as follows: project, folder, in, out, record, play, tool, system, SD card, USB, and record mode. In the in-out menu, you should familiarize yourself with the following selections so you may set up and operate your device: low cut, compressor limiter, in 1 and 2 phantom, plug-in power, in 1 and 2 pad -20 decibels, in 1 and 2 MS matrix, LR MS raw monitor, monitor mixer, and line out level. Under the input-output menu under compressor limiter, you have the following options: input LR, input 1, input 2, and all. Selecting one of the options will turn that setting on and open another menu with the following options: off, compressor 1 general, compressor 2 vocal, compressor 3 drum, limiter 1 general, limiter 2 concert, and limiter 3 studio. You would use these settings depending on what you wish to record, and you may turn the main selections on or off depending on what accessory you use to record. Under the Input-Output menu, under N1 and 2 Phantom, you have the two options, on-off and voltage. Turn the phantom power on if you are using a mic that needs phantom power to operate, like the shotgun mics and the lavalier mics. To turn on your external power, go under the Input-Output menu and select Plug-in Power. Once you select it, you can select either on or off. In the Record menu, you should familiarize yourself with the following selections: Record Format, Auto Record, Pre-Record, NLR Backup, Project Name, Counter Setup, and Sound Marker. Under the Record menu, you will want to set your recording format. You may do so by selecting the top selection labeled Record Format and select the recording format that best suits your needs. On the back side of the H4N and the H5N, you have a speaker and access to the device's batteries. Just above the batteries of the H4N, there is a stamina switch, which may be used to conserve device power, but for better audio, you should keep this switch turned off. On the left side of both devices, you have a slot for your SD card, which can either be SD or SDHC and can be up to 32 gigabytes. On the H4N, just above the SD card slot, you have the recording level buttons, which controls the volume level the audio is recorded to. Just above that, you have the menu button and a toggle switch for navigating through the various options in the menu. On the H5N, a similar menu and toggle can be found directly above the SD card slot. On the right side of the devices, you have a power switch. Slide down and hold for a few seconds to let the screen turn on. To turn off the devices, simply do that again until the screen says "Goodbye, see you." Above the power switch, you have a USB connection on both devices. The connection allows you to connect the device to a computer and import your audio if you prefer that method. The USB connection on both devices may also be used as a source of external power. Above the USB connection is the device's listening audio buttons. These do not change the volume of the actual recording, only what the person recording can hear through the device. You can either listen to the audio through the speaker on the back of the device or by plugging headphones into the headphone jack just above the listening volume buttons. This is the preferred listening method among professionals. Above the headphone jack on the H4N, you have a remote jack. Above the headphone jack on the H5N, you have a line-out jack. That's all for this tutorial and equipment breakdown. Thanks for watching.